Welcome to Washington Football Week with your host, one half of that dynamic duo, Sean Spencer, and South Carolina's finest, Will Kramer.
Don't play us if you're undefeated.
Where we celebrate past success while looking to a bright future. There's a youth movement in Washington, and they're ready to take the reins, led by a fire. It's a new day, new dawn, no longer the laughing stock. It's time to take command.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And you know what day it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's Wednesday, baby. Happy Hump Day! And I'm here with my guy. On this third day of 2024, South Carolina's finest, Will Kramer. What up, Will?
What's going on, man? How we doing?
Doing well.
I like that hat.
Yeah, you know where I got this hat from, right?
No.
Our dear friend that can no longer wear it.
Are you kidding
Yeah.
me?
Thank you,
I think I remember
Niedermeyer. He said, you want a free hat? I was like, for real? This is nice. You give it to me? It's like, yeah, I can't wear it around the house anymore. So it's yours. I said, all right, I'm good with that. So yeah, I've been wearing it all day.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you should be. That one's really nice.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I like it. It's a new era and everything. Let me see if I get the new era symbol and everything. So I'm like, okay, all right, Jack. So appreciate you, my guy, looking out for you guys.
Meanwhile, he just got back from the land of Chop On. Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But this is too much.
Right. Will, what's going on, man? Hey, you said Happy New Year, buddy. How are you doing, man?
Doing well. I'm rejuvenated. Had a lot of relaxation and time off. The last 2 weeks. It's good. It was needed, but it feels nice. I'm ready for 2024.
Absolutely. And look, we got a great show for you, and we're going to dive into it really quickly. Speaking of the new year, Will, let's go right into it. Hey, what are you excited for in 2024?
You know what? It goes to exactly what you said in the intro. It's a new day. It's a new dawn. That's what has me so excited about 2024 is in just one, less than a week from now, on Sunday, we play our last game against Dallas. Then we go ahead and then, the next day they call it Black Monday, but we're going to, Ron Rivera and we don't know who else, but a lot of people are going to be let go. And it's going to be an opportunity for us to finally see what the Harris ownership group is going to do with this franchise. One of the first moves they're going to make is revamping the front office, not just the coaches, but revamping the front office. And from that's going to stem down to what happens with head coach, assistants, set, free agency, draft order, everything, kind of just basically set the franchise. But it's going to start at the top. There's a lot of reports of the unknowns of who's going to be let go. Is it going to be everybody being let go? Is there a chance that team president Jason Wright gets let go? Are we releasing Martin Mayhew and Marty Herney from their contracts? Are we firing majority of our scouting department? What are we doing here? And that is what has me really excited, because I also think based on when those decisions are going to start having the ripple effects on who is coming in as head coach, what schemes are running, et cetera, and so there's going to be able to connect some dots that I'm really excited about. Do you want to share your stuff, or do you want me to throw out some names first? What would you prefer?
I will share some things real quick. Honestly,
Good.
I'm excited too. I'm excited too. And I think what I'm excited about is what we kind of anticipated a year ago. Once Dan Snyder officially left and the new regime came in, we thought, okay, here we go, night and day. Things are going to be so much different. And obviously they weren't. Things, took their time and we had to go through this whole season. But I'm just excited for the unknown. We're finally in a position for the first time, I think, in our and all the time that we've been really following this and really kind of really doing the deep dive outside of being just a fan, this is the first time where we're really tearing it down to the studs and we're really have the opportunity to build this thing up. And we just don't know. We don't know. But we do know we hope it's not going to be here we go again. It's not going to be Dan Snyder out there. It's not going to be, some of the names, Rivera, Mayhew, some of these guys. Hopefully they'll all be gone. And then we'll have a new regime that they might know about the past and how we've been struggling, obviously, but they haven't been in here. So they don't have that whole the ick, that's the yuck all over them.
Yes.
Fresh thing. Just kind of like Josh Harris and Magic. They didn't come in here, always like, woe is me. Oh man, we're losing. No, they came in here like we're winners and we're trying to make it win. And when we didn't win, they were notably upset about it and they spoke out about it. So I'm excited to see the vision that they have implemented this off season into next year. I'm ready for 2024 and 2025 going down. Like I'm very excited. And I'm excited to see what my guy might do, what the team might do in keeping my guy, or if they'll go another direction. But what are you excited about as far as players and things like that, man?
Well, so you're so right though about when you talk about a fresh start. Do you realize that 4 years ago yesterday, Ron Rivera was introduced at a press conference, and we had the number 2 overall pick, and we felt this freshness about him because we were like, well, we got a respected coach. Right. He's going to be a coach centric. He's going to be a no BS guy. All his players in Carolina likes him. We're back to being respectable. This is like our Joe Gibbs.
Yeah.
But here we are 4 years later. There's a chance to have the number 2 overall pick in the draft and go fresh start and kind of go full circle. And, and the saddest thing right now is we don't have a better roster 4 years later than what he inherited.
No.
It's really sad that you can't name a single player that you're like, that guy, somebody wants that guy. Another team would love to have that guy, that he's brought in, which is kind of crazy. So I'm with you where it's like getting the ick out. Like I loved what Ron did when it comes from, he was a face of our franchise and he went through a lot with that, dealing with Snyder and the name change and the countless lawsuits and all that stuff. But the football stuff didn't get better. And now I'm ready for our franchise to take another direction. And that's what has me so excited, because from the early reports, and you gotta know here, you and I have been talking about this, not much is coming out about this. Whatever they've done, whatever conversations that they've had are behind the scenes and being kept quiet. So people are just speculating on the next people available, to a franchise. But they don't know a whole lot is going on. But there's some rumblings here. A report came out that the Harris Group wants to see our franchise modeled after some of the most successful franchises, the Ravens, kind of what the 49ers, what Philadelphia. And so there's some names that are tied to those organizations too, which make a lot of sense of trying to connect the dots. But that part, just that alone, I would even throw the Steelers in there. They weren't, but like, that's the type of franchise I want us to go back to being like we were in the late 80s and 90s, where you had smart moves being made and guys down below that were going to be groomed to take over. It's different NFL, so you can't really do all of that the way we would do it. But it was just a well-run organization, and that's what has me most excited to look for. I'm gonna let you go before I name some names.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, and I know we just talked about the Ron Rivera stuff from a week ago when we dove into it, and you guys obviously really love that conversation. But a lot of it is that speculation. A lot of it is that excitement that we are changing. But going back to 4 years ago, I mean, we got to remember how deep in it we really were. You know what I mean? Coming into that season where we were 3-13, Josh Johnson ended up giving us a win or something to put us to a certain spot. Look, it was just a lot of stuff. And at that point, it wasn't even, I don't even know if at that point, I mean, we obviously wanted to win, but at that point, I don't even know if winning was as important as just changing the narrative.
Yes.
Just changing it. And so when we look at Ron, obviously we say, things on the field might not have changed. We didn't really get anything different and anything that we can really be excited about. Everybody on the team, to bring up our guy Anton Benton, seems to be moral support. Yeah. Everybody is a rah-rah, great. I love these guys, but it's not anybody that other teams fear. Speaking of a game that we're going to be playing this Sunday, we don't have that Micah Parsons that teams all around the league are like, God, we want him. We want him. Even CD Lamb breaking records out there. You know what I mean? We don't have those things. So from that perspective, yes, it definitely looks like a failure, but it took 4 years to get us out, kind of getting us out of that stuff. And I got to give Ron his respects for that. But it kind of just seems like we're finally breaking even. We're finally back a little bit above water with just the sky is the limit right now. Right. You know what I mean? It was harder when you go back 4 years ago to look and see the sun and the sky through the clouds and the rain and everything. But right now, I mean, everything's in front of us. Everything's in front of us, Will. And I hate to be cautiously optimistic because we have been here before. But like you said, the way these guys are trying to culture things, the way these guys are trying to mold things and build things, the organizations are trying to take after and follow. Right. It really gets me hyped up, man. So who are some of the names and some of the things and the directions we might go in?
Absolutely. So a couple names that have been floated around. One of the really hot names was actually at FedEx last week. He is the assistant general manager for the San Francisco 49ers by the name of Adam Peters. He is largely being thought of as he's their draft guy. He's the talent evaluator. And so, obviously seeing we've given him two really good players in the last 4 years in Trent Williams and Chase Young, good player. We'll see. But we've given him two players here in trades. So maybe he can do us a favor and come join our organization and fix us the way he's helped out San Francisco. So he could be an option. There's a guy in Philly, Alec Halaby. He's a big analytics guy. Josh Harris loves analytics. Obviously, he's been learning from Howie Roseman. And I mean, if we get someone from Philly, Ab would be ecstatic because that's that mindset of like, get assets as much as you can. Trade away players when their value's high or when their value is dipping and get something for them, that type of mindset with analytics. There's a guy who's I think is going to be really interesting to watch. Ian Cunningham out of Chicago. And he's got ties to the Ravens. He's got ties to the Eagles. He went to the University of Virginia. He is the assistant general manager of the Bears. He declined the opportunity for Arizona last year because he wanted to stick around. And all of a sudden, if you look at what Chicago's front office is doing, I know they've had some struggles on the field. But like last year when they traded away and were able to trade that first overall pick to the Panthers, they have this year's first overall pick plus their first overall pick. They've made some questionable moves, trading a second round pick for Chase Claypool, trading a second round pick for Montez Sweat, although that's sort of turned in the direction. But they're doing some things in that front office to fix the program. So that's kind of, exciting about. These guys have some proven, they're with some franchises with some proven making some good moves. Guy coming from Baltimore by the name of Joe Ortiz. He's been working underneath Eric DeCosta for years. Before that, obviously, he learned from Ozzie Newsome. So again, it's somebody that has been around a lot of experience. And if you look at the Ravens drafts, I can't name all the players when they draft them, but they always turn in to be solid players, contributing players. And we could only ask for something like that. So he's kind of exciting. two more names that I've heard of. One is Brant Tillis. I don't know much about him in Kansas City, but he basically, it was reported, Ben Stanek wrote that one of the AFC executives said if he gets an interview, he's getting hired. So kind of talking about he's been learning under Andy Reid and, sort of building that program up where they continue to have guys step
we've
up.
had guys that have learned under Andy Reid.
Buyer beware. Buyer beware.
Pump your brakes.
Washington gets screwed when Andy Reid's cast-offs come our way. Donovan McNabb, Alex Smith, Eric Bieniemy. Let's not take his sloppy seconds.
The proof is there.
I know. You're so right. So those are like the GM candidates. Yeah. This next one is kind of interesting that Ben Stanek's been reporting on. Nikki Javala of the Washington Post has been reporting on. Her name is Dawn Appoint. I think I said that. I hope I said that right. She's in the NFL offices, and they're kind of talk about her as what if she were to become the team president? What if she become the executive director of football operations? She's been with many organizations. She's been through scouting departments. So it's not that she couldn't be a candidate as a general manager, but she also could be a really good face of the program. The way Jason Wright has been. But I don't mean this disrespectfully. She's been in the league. Jason Wright was working at a consulting firm and got brought into, he's been a good face for us. But she's got experience doing this stuff, being around what the league wants, what the league is looking for. So that could be something really exciting just to kind of see. Just like you said, we just talked about this. What direction are we going to go in? And from there, what does that mean for talent? And connections and personnel.
Yeah. And I mean, look, let's be very honest. These are the football people. You know what I mean? Yes. These are guys. I mean, just to your point about, right, with the consulting firm, these are football people. One of the teams you talked about, the Chicago Bears, who 1 minute they look like they're doing something right, and the next minute it's like, what are y'all doing? And it's going back and forth. But when you talk to Nick and Delilah and those guys, it's the people in the office, the McCaskies, the ones who are the GMs and all that. They're not football people. They're about building up Chicago and the sports and all that type of stuff. So You're never going to have that football direction, that mentality, and you're going to continue to have those issues. These are football people, and that is something huge. That's something that's going to stop us from having a situation where, like Dan Snyder did, where it's like, oh, my son played with this quarterback. Okay, yeah, let's get him. You know what I mean? And no disrespect to the late Dwayne Haskins, but at the same time, it's like at 15, it was at 15, right? Like, what? What are you doing? It just doesn't make sense. So I love this. I love having football people in here so we can start going in a direction where people look at us the way they did when we had Bobby Beathard, in the early 80s up to the 90s, when we're winning championships, we're going to playoffs, we're a formidable force in the land of giants, the Bears, the Niners, the Eagles, the Giants, all of those teams were studs, and they still had to fear us and play for us. So let's get that and go in that direction.
Well, you just mentioned the name Bobby Beathard. All these people that I mentioned, they're his Charlie Casserly's. They're the ones working underneath him, the talent and stuff. So when it's their turn, they can have some success.
Love that. Absolutely love that. What's going on, Ben? Agreed. Imagine every NFL team had more NFL people who had all their NFL teams. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and hey, we can hope for that. And again, this is that great point because you don't know. There's all that excitement, speculation, what's going to happen, and we finally think we have people in the front office that are owning the team that are looking in that direction. Sure. We will talk a little bit about something you told me about the buyer beware of the some of the other teams that Harris owns. We're not going to do that for right now because we're excited.
Yeah.
But look, let's go into it because in order to go through 2020, go to 2024, which we're not necessarily there yet. We were there by date, but not by season just yet. We do have to look back at what was. We're going to go ahead and look at the 2023 draft. We want to look at our best picks, our worst picks, where we feel who went, who was better, who was worse, this and that. Real quick, I'm going to go through the picks that we got. In the first round, we got Emmanuel Forbes with the 16th pick. With the second round, we got Quan Martin. The third round, we got Ricky Stromberg. The fourth round, we got Braden Daniels. The fifth round, we got KJ Henry. The 6th round, we got Chris Rodriguez. And at the end, the 7th round, we got Andre Jones Jr. Will, I'm going to come to you first. You see the picks. I know you were excited about the first, and I wasn't as excited.
Yeah.
Kind of leveled off on a lot of these things. What was your best pick? What was your favorite pick of last year's draft?
This might surprise you. You might not like this. I think the best player of the draft, and he's going to show something us next year, is Quan Martin.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
He's been playing a lot more lately with the injuries to Percy Butler, to golly, how am I forgetting his name? The safety
Forrest?
from Cincinnati. Derek Forrest. Yeah. I kept saying, I almost said DeShazer or Everett, man. Like, what am I doing? Derek Forrest and then Percy Butler, he's been forced into action. And I certainly think that he struggled in preseason and he struggled at the beginning of the season. He has not had the impact this season that we were hoping for, but he was very much he's one of the few players that when we drafted him, that the scouts didn't go, good player, didn't need to grab him there, type thing. And we talked about how we also knew they liked Brian Branch out of Alabama that's with the Lions. And basically it was these two guys is who they liked because they're versatile. So I think he's starting to play better towards the end of this season. He's playing in the nickel. He's playing in safety a little bit. Yes. And so he's not necessarily the problems that we're having out there. And so I think like by all means at the time of the draft, was that the position we needed? That's for another comment. That's a good debate. But I think when it all looks back at who we selected, he may be the most talented player on the team, and I'll be excited to see what he does in his sophomore season.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. I love that. Very surprised by that because up until a couple weeks ago, you were screaming at this guy.
I have been. He's been a disappointment at times too.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I'm gonna go farther down the list, but at a position where if you know me, you know what I love. I love my running backs, and I got to be honest, man. I thought Chris Rodriguez was just going to battle for that 3 spot, potentially take the 3 spot and just come in there and help out whenever necessary. But with injuries and with just the lack of kind of good play, they brought him in there. And towards the end of the season, he's actually been a legitimate force. Like he's led a couple games in rushing. Some of those games have been blowouts and, for whatever reason, he's been in there, but still, it's really something to build on. And we always talk about how Mayhew and all of them, we're a run team. If we do end up going back to the Washington of old, we had guys like this. We remember, obviously, Riggo. You think about Gerald Riggs. Even Biner, even though he was a little bit more nimble, was still a bruising running back.
Stephen Davis.
You know what I mean? Stephen, great point. Exactly. These guys are all dominant backs, and that's what we were known for a long time. Even you can go back to Alfred Morris, who was a good running back.
1 year. Yes.
1 year. But these guys all were bruising backs, and it was something that Washington was known for. And bringing Chris Rodriguez in here, for me, is what I thought Brian Robinson was going to be. Now, I'm not saying Brian Robinson is any less of a bruiser, but I think Rodriguez is kind of more built for that goal line, that 3rd and 1, that type of thing. Whereas Robinson, I think, has impressed me more also with his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, with his nimbleness, with his ability to create and get into open space. So I love, especially if we're going to move on from Gibson, we don't know what's going to happen with that, but I would love Rodriguez to be our short down, guy that comes in, somebody that you could potentially put in there for a fullback and can also be a lead blocker because he has that kind of ability. So that's where I stand. I love Rodriguez. I love him coming out of Kentucky, and I'm glad we got him.
That's a great pick, man. I actually had him as my honorable mention. So yeah, no, he's been impressive when he's gotten his chances, and I wish he would have gotten some more opportunities now towards the end of the season. But I think he got nicked up, and so he's not really getting that chance because it would have been great to see him.
Oh, yeah. Nate, what's going on? I said I can't really say who's disappointed because some of the guys are still developing in their positions.
They're all still developing, man. Our rookie class sucks.
Right.
You're
so
right.
Nate, let us know who you do think, though, would be your favorite out of all those guys that were picked from last year, who is your favorite pick? We just gave ours, and now also give us who is your worst pick. I'm going to go first on this one. I don't know that we can go any different from this. I think it's the fourth pick, Braden Daniels. Obviously, the injury, I know the injury hurt him and everything, but when he came in, it just seemed like project was stamped on him. Yes. And it even if he would have gotten in, I don't know that it would have made a huge difference. So he, for me, was the most lackluster. You know, I mean, I look on this list, Forbes got in, Quan got in, Ricky Stromberg got some action, KJ, you know, Rodriguez, Jones, all those guys. Braden Daniels was the biggest bust. And I hate to say this because of the injury, but he wasn't really looking that dominant before the injury. So I hate it because it's kind of like Big Phil, where it's, you know, like with Darius Mathis, where it's like, oh, well, you can't really judge his play because he's been hurt all year. But at the same time, you still have expectations. You still kind of want him in there. And then you go back and obviously hindsight's 2020. It's like, what could we have done with that pick? You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
Oh, no. You're not on the show yet. So we ain't going to answer that one, right?
I'm ready to answer that one.
Are you? I know you're ready to answer.
Tell her when she comes on, she can ask for that question.
Oh, yeah. Definitely bring that one up. Yeah, what do you think?
I had the same one as you, man. And you want to know why he's the worst pick? I had to go back and Google our draft our draft selection and go, was it Braden or was it Braylon? What was his name?
Yep.
And because he's the type of guy we needed a couple years ago, so that now this year he can contribute. But I mean, they faked that injury to put him on injured reserve to save him because he was not ready. And that is, he by far. I would almost say honorable mention worst pick right now is Emmanuel Forbes. And
wow,
Nathan is correct. He's in the wrong scheme, and so that's why I didn't pick it. But you also can't sit here and say he's done anything good as a rookie and shows any promise right now. Now, hopefully whoever comes in and takes over this defense will either do one of two things. Either say we're going to play zone to work with him, or we're going to ship him out already and just move on from him. I just cut bait if you're going to. But I'm with you. Braden Daniels. He's a terrible pick. I actually have a third one. I've got a most disappointing. So let me go just in case someone comes up on you. I'm going to say my most disappointing is my favorite pick of the draft, Ricky Stromberg.
Really? Yeah.
And the reason why, because he got hurt halfway through the season and he's been out the whole time. And the reason why I'm most disappointed is I knew he would be a project. They said he wasn't going to come in and be a day one starter, but by the end of this season, he probably could have been playing. And more importantly now, we know we have to fix the offensive line, and we don't know how he factors in, because he hasn't been given a chance. He's been out half the season. Ron mentioned that they thought he could come in and play guard by this point, that he was kind of impressing there. But now you don't know. So you're going into next year. Is he a center? Is he a guard? Is he a starting center? Is he a backup? Do we need to draft a center? Do we need to sign a free agency? It's just too much of an unknown. I thought going into next season, it would be like, we're going to turn this over to him. He is our starting center. The way, Philadelphia drafted Cam Jurgens to take over for Jason Kelce as soon as he retires. I thought we were making that type of progression, and it didn't happen. And so I'm really disappointed in that, because I really thought that was a good pick.
Well, you have to have somebody that's capable, that can start ahead of him before you have somebody for him to trade behind.
That's true. That's very true.
Kind of needed him immediately. I'm going to go 2 picks later than that. KJ Henry.
Yeah.
You know how excited I got, when he got drafted. Obviously, there was that video of him, and his dad was a huge Washington fan, and it was, excitement. And you had talked to me about, he was going to be, a potential project, and, he's got potential, but, maybe not ready yet. But I was excited about that, because at the beginning of the season, we still had our edge rushers. We still had Montez and Chase, and we had big expectations for them to do things. And so I thought he would have been great to come in when they were a little tired, somebody to work with. You got Smith Williams and those type of guys, and you can throw him into that rotation, another body. He's a Clemson, so under Dabo, great, pedigree and everything. And it just didn't come to fruition. And then, like you said, with the injuries, with the struggles we had on defense, you just thought he was going to have a chance to do it. And for all we know, he did have a chance to get in there, but he just really didn't show anything. He couldn't do the edge. He really couldn't push him back in linebacker. And again, this might be on coaching. Maybe we see like some of our guys, they didn't know, or it looked like they didn't know how to run these guys or where to put them in the right scheme and whatnot. But at the same time, maybe it was on me, but I got my hopes up. I got very excited about him and what he could potentially be, even if it was just a fill-in. And he really laid an egg for me. So,
yeah, you're right. It's a lot of like trying to figure out again with him, where does he play in? He's been starting the last bunch of games and doesn't really do a whole lot.
No, not at all. But look, let's move on down the list, because not only did we draft, but we also dove into free agency, and we hit this one fairly quickly. As you might know, we picked up Mr. Andrew Wiley, like almost immediately before, and then getting Nick Gates, who was talking about, he had the injury issue, totally destroyed his knee. Actually, wasn't that against us?
It was against us.
Yeah, we broke his leg or something, and then we subsequently picked him up. Interesting. Jacoby Brissett. Loved that pick. That definitely has come to help out. And Cody Barton out there. I mean, those are just a couple names. What are your who's your favorite? Who do you think was the best?
I do have a best. And it's really bad. Our best free agent signing was Jamison Crowder to be a punt returner. And you want to know the problem there? We signed him after cuts. He was signed in September.
Yep.
This is why we suck. Like, our best free agent signing was a guy who got cut during training camp. Sean, what is this? My other honorable mention was going to be Tyler Larson, because we re-signed our own player.
Yeah.
But because everyone you just mentioned, besides Brissett, flopped.
Yep. They
massively flopped. Our entire free agency class flopped. And the only reason Brissett didn't flop is because he didn't play. That is the reason why Ron's getting fired in just a few days. Like, our best free agent signing was cut in training camp to be our punt returner. And he came in week 2 or 3. Like, what the are we doing?
I can't disagree with you. I can't. From the very first to the very last. Now, like you said, the moves that we made when we returned guys, you talk about Larson, Danny Johnson, F.A. Obata, these guys, I mean, I guess they were the best. You know what I mean? But I think the only thing when I think F.A. Obata, I think of your dad joke. Like, that's I don't think he can play on the field.
Don't know a whole lot about him.
But honestly, it was just one thing I can say, I'm a Sam Howell guy. So I'll say Jacoby Brissett, because what I think has happened is one of the reasons why Sam has been able to kind of, I know he struggled in the last couple of games, but one of the reasons why I think he hasn't been able to crack, even though he was sacked more than anybody and he threw all these interceptions, I think, what is that, 19 right now? I think it's because you have that guy behind him saying, when he comes back to the sidelines, you're good. Let me show you what you did wrong. You're good. Let me show you who else was up. I think that everything that we talk about, all the things the coaches and everybody looking at film is saying, is all the things that Jacoby's sitting there on the sidelines telling him. He's like, you're straight. I believe he has really helped Sam to mature and just know certain ins and outs that a wily veteran would know. You know what I mean? So I love that he was there for Sam, as opposed to a Taylor Heineke, because I don't think that he would have been able to learn Sam. I don't think he would have been able to learn from Taylor Heineke. You know what I mean? And I think Jacoby, having led teams, having been the focal point, the number one guy on certain teams, on playoff caliber teams, I think that was huge for Sam going forward. Now, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if Sam and or Jacoby will still be here next year. But I thought that's really something that will pay dividends for Sam long down his throughout his career.
Yeah, no, I mean, they said that the Browns did reach out to the Commanders about Jacoby, and Ron responded very quickly to that and said, "No way, not Jacoby," because I think there was more things happening behind the scenes, in the quarterback's room. But I must push back a little bit though. You're right. Just Taylor Heineke would not have mentored him, because when you're Taylor Heineke and you get to do stuff like this and you get to almost win playoff games, he wouldn't.
Wow.
He wins 7-8
Wow.
games. Sam wins 4
Wow.
games, Sean.
Wow.
So you're right. Heineke wouldn't have mentored him because he would have shown I'm better than you.
Hey, did Taylor beat Dallas? Sam did.
I don't know.
Did Taylor beat?
Congrats. Congrats. Yeah. In weeks 18 last year, he beat the Cowboys. Congrats.
Let's go.
Congrats.
Let's go. And Janae, look, we're bringing you on the show later. I don't need you commenting. It's so funny. It's gracious, all right? If Sam gets that contract, I'm good with that, all right? Now, I know we've said everybody is the worst. This is a terrible free agency class. But if you can pick one guy, that is the worst. For me, I said it the other night, Nick Gates, the fact that dude had a broken leg and we said, let's give you some money to play for us. And then he falls apart against his old team. Surprise, surprise. He is awful for me. I didn't like it when we got him. I'm an old school guy, as you see. Keep it high and tight. All military in my family, so I don't need all that long hair. Get a haircut, boy. All right. But no, that's for me. I mean, and then they put him in as starter, and you're just sitting here like, it made me feel the same way I felt when Alex Smith was out there. Like, I guess I'm okay with this, but we're on borrowed time. He's going to get hurt eventually, right? I mean, and how good was he from the start that we were able to get this guy that had a broken leg? Nobody else was clamoring for this guy. So, that's my worst free agent move. What do you got?
Nick Gates was mine as well. You're right, because we have a young quarterback, and you brought in a guy, and there were two things that Nick Gates struggled with this year. One was pass protection. He's a leaner center out there, and when you got 340-pound defensive tackles pushing you, he had no chance at 290 pounds. So that part was a problem. Then the second part as a center was his calls. His line protections were not good, and that was not helping. And it's no coincidence that when Tyler Larsen came in, we did have an improvement in that. And it's also no coincidence the last 6 games, we've had a significantly less amount of sacks. And in fact, Bryce Young has a chance, and the Panthers have a chance to eclipse us this Sunday, because they've had an atrociousness. So the last, we've been stuck around like 56, 57, 58 for a while. It wasn't the 4, 5, 6, 12 sacks that we were having in there. And that coincided with an inexperienced Tyler Larsen. So Nick Gates was really bad. It's very easy. Honorable mentions are Andrew Wiley and Cody Barton. It's very easy. All fans put all their anger at Andrew Wiley. The one thing that they don't realize, he actually grades out well in the running game, very highly in the run game. And he may be someone that we need to transition into playing inside and let him battle it with the rookie at left guard next year, where he could be better. But Cody Barton was a big flop too, and he was brought in there to be athletic, to help make the calls. So him and Jamin could just be athletic and running around. And in theory, it made sense. But he did not translate one bit. And he one of the buyer bewares that like John Keim had put on there was he was inconsistent in Seattle, and now he's going to be asked to do more in Washington than what he did, and he did not play well. So it was our free agency was awful. This is why we suck.
No, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And to your point about Barton, man, I mean, if I got to watch one more play where they run some kind of play to the edge and he gets sucked up inside and you're just like, where did he go? But you see the running back running down the sidelines. It's like, what? It makes you start screaming for Jamin Davis. It's like he's that much better. But oh, man. But look, this was on old coaching. On Rivera, on that GM, on
this all. This is why they're being removed. Yep.
Exactly. There's your proof right there in the pudding. So, hey, we'll see. We talked about it. We're going to, obviously, this off season, we have a lot to talk about of what's coming up. But before all that, we still have one more game. One more game. And if you know how we do, okay, we always we feel some type of way about this opponent, even though they might be, dominating us for the most part. We always feel some type of
Yeah. I want Dallas this week. I am ready to applaud their success this Sunday.
See, that's the other part. Because if we lose,
we need Dallas.
So look, without further ado, I gotta bring in my partner, one half of that dynamic duo that's Let's Talk Football. And if you don't know who this person is, let me just play this little clip. I'm gonna bring it on the other side. Let's go.
Let me go ahead and put my hat back on.
Oh, here we go.
It's been a long time coming, but I know the change gonna come. The Cowboys,
oh Lord,
will finally,
don't do it.
Finally,
oh my goodness,
beat the San Francisco 49ers at 8 o'clock on Sunday night. This Sunday, the Cowboys change is gonna come. You had to play that clip, right?
Did the change come today? Did it come?
I was looking going, wait, did they win that game? I don't remember if they did.
Wow, yeah. You see what he did? You see what
Let's go.
There? He had to have some type of highlight.
Let's go.
Some type of highlight.
What up
today? We don't have much.
We don't.
I'm so glad to be here on the Washington Weekly. Man, it's an honor. It's an honor to be here with you, Washington gurus. Man.
Well, I mean, since you whooped us, I mean, this might as well be your show because right now it's been a rough year. But you know what? We know about week 18. We know we're playing you. We know, every time we play in week 18, most likely we win. Happened last year. Happened last time on RK.
Happened in 2012.
I'm just saying, it seems to happen. It seems to happen. But talk to us, though, because you guys are currently in a race with Philadelphia. Yes. As we know, for the last, 12, 13 years, there has never been an NFC East champion that is repeated. Yes. So all signs are pointing to y'all. And, I mean, it's not like you guys have a juggernaut you're playing against this week. So, I mean, what are your thoughts going into this week and going to the playoffs?
We can't sleep. We cannot sleep on Washington. We slept on Washington last year as just, a bypass game that we just need to get fast to get to the playoffs. And you guys killed us. We never seen Sam Howell play before. He came in, shocked the world, demolished us. As you can see, once we got tape on him, that didn't happen this year. And we still have that tape, Sean. So I know you're hoping and wishing. Now, what I would think would happen is, why not stick with Jacoby, man? You guys have, for now, I mean, just for the finish of the season, Jacoby Brissett has come in and then gave you guys sparks 2 weeks in a row, I believe. I don't see anything wrong with it. If Sam's going to be your guy for the future, you don't.
He's injured.
Oh, yeah, that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying.
He's injured.
That's what they're saying. I'm just like, but we can see. I just think that Sam is not your guy. I've said this from the very beginning. Wow. I will pose that question to you. Sam, how? And Sean has not listened to me forever about this concept, but he talks so much trash about Kirk Cousins. Yeah. So much trash. But Kirk Cousins gave you 4,000 yards each season, more touchdowns than your boy Sam has, way less interceptions, but you think Sam's your guy, and Kirk Cousins was just, get him out of here. is Sam really your guy? Or should you be vying for one of these dynamic quarterbacks that's coming out of the draft this year?
We are drafting a quarterback with our first pick. Here's the problem with
Thank
Washington.
you, Will. Thank you.
This is you said it. Besides Kirk Cousins, you have to go back to Brad Johnson. But since the last time Washington has just anything competent at quarterback. And so when Sam can just create and complete a pass downfield consistently, we go, what? We might need to build around this guy. Go look at the list.
That is Sean. That is Sean.
It is. It's all Washington fans. That's why they're so clouded right now. Go look at that list of all those quarterbacks jerseys that are on somebody's bed.
Thank you.
That none of them have been talented, and Sam has some talent enough to be in the league. But if you take away the first half of the season, not even the first half, but definitely the first half, the minute we played after the Dallas game on, he's been atrocious. Why has he been atrocious? Because there's film out on this guy. Because they've had a chance to see what he does and know what he doesn't do, and they're exploiting it. I'm sorry, Sean's just getting railed on this one.
I'm glad you're speaking knowledge.
But it has.
He doesn't listen to a Cowboy fan. He thinks I'm just out to get his guy, but I said it from the very beginning. Yards don't matter if you don't get W's.
Oh,
the same thing with Kirk Cousins. He's got a lot of yards, but he didn't get you guys W's.
Correct.
Is this a team sport? Is this a team sport or is it one player sport? That's all I'm asking.
But you have to have a quarterback that is going to win you games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like our head? Do you like Ron? Would you like Ron to coach your team?
I didn't like Ron when you got him. I told you this.
Okay. What about Jack Del Rio? What about the lack of offensive line? Why are we not? We can all blame Sam. And look, I will admit this. Sam might be just a backup. You're going to need to give him the type of weapons that Purdy has in San Francisco for him to truly be there.
Right.
Yes. But Washington doesn't like to do that.
No.
They are the team out of the 32 teams. You guys are like the 5 teams that do. You guys got so much money that you could totally build a team. But you don't do that.
They don't know how to.
Ownership, maybe you will. But that has not been Washington's MO. You got money to get top players.
Right.
See, Janae, I played that clip not for you to say your little piece or not to take a shot, but because you predicted that a change was going to come. And you're on this show because this is the last bit of joy you're going to have in the division. The change is coming next year, 2024.
Sean, I've been knowing you my whole life. You've been telling me a change gonna come my whole life.
I'm sure he has.
And it's still gonna come.
So I actually have a question for you, Janae, and it has to do with change. Okay.
What's up?
Dallas got significantly better when they brought in Dan Quinn. Yes. And he is rumored to be one of the hot coaches. Josina Anderson said she's hearing that one of the NFC East teams is going to make a very surprising move when it comes to the coaches. Do you think Dallas could potentially sit here and say, we can't lose Dan Quinn? We can lose Mike McCarthy, but we can't lose Dan Quinn. Who do you think is the head coach of Dallas going into 2024?
That's tough. That's very tough. How do you fire a coach that's now going to get you 3 consecutive seasons of 12-5?
Yeah.
How do you fire a coach and then take the risk? Because we do remember Dan Quinn had a good season with Atlanta, a good season, right? Let's not forget the one season.
Correct.
That Ryan played amazing. They got to the Super Bowl, did not win, but they got there.
Right.
That happened. Do you take the risk of making Dan Quinn the coach and then it doesn't work out? And maybe it works for the defense. The defense they definitely have something, but I think it helps us. Y'all see Dak is playing out of control. I cannot not say that's not due to Mike McCarthy taking full control of the offense. Now, clock management, we're always gonna deal with that because Mike McCarthy sucks at clock management. Mm-hmm. But what he is good at is freaking developing a quarterback. Dak Prescott looks the best he's ever been. I would not change that due to the fact that we're probably getting ready to pay Dak. Mm-hmm. And with you saying, and I also think we will offer Dan Quinn enough money to not want to deal with the pressure of being a head coach. I think he enjoys being an assistant coach. He still gets just as much recognition for Dallas as Mike McCarthy. It's literally Mike McCarthy, Dan Quinn. You are getting the credit. Mm-hmm. I don't see you going to another team so you can not do all that great. It doesn't conform with other things. Like, same thing with your coach. Rivera was not great with Carolina, and then you picked him up thinking that he would change culture. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
I think that Dan Quinn is a dynamic defensive coordinator, and that's what he is. Mm-hmm. I think that he's perfect with us. We got enough money to make sure he stays with us. And I think that he likes coaching our boys. They've gotten better and better and better. You're developing Micah Parsons. You're developing these top defensive players that we never even heard of. They're just coming out the woodworks. Right. Our defense is like you're hearing a new name, a sack, Bland. Right. You remember nobody wanted Bland.
5th round pick.
Come on, nobody wanted Bland. Look at him. He's got the record. You know, he's tied up. You're developing players that we would never even hear of. You're getting the credit that's due. I don't think it's smart to get rid of Mike McCarthy. I just think 3 consecutive seasons he's been the head coach, and they're all 12-5. I just don't see you. Just like Tomlin, you got the winning seasons. Why fire a coach? It's hard to find a coach that can get you 12-5.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah. We know that. But honestly, and I completely agree. Now, obviously, us being in division, we would not want you to keep him because of how dominant that defense is. But it's almost like EB leaving Kansas City. Everybody's clamoring like, oh, get EB. And then as soon as you bring him to a team that is not as equipped as a team he had before, you see how he is. Now, I do want to ask you this because you did mention it. McCarthy, 12-5. We know he's been to a Super Bowl with the Packers. He always has you guys in the hunt. And this is not me taking a shot, but this is the facts with obviously the playoffs. Each year you come up to this spot, division, and you get knocked out. When is, as seeing that Jerry Jones just put in Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor, when is that going to be enough? Keeping on McCarthy. Like, when is it not going to be enough to just be 12-5, win the division, and get to the playoffs? When do you have to?
The progression. So I think right now, if he gets us to at least the championship, you can't get rid of him. This is progression. First year, nothing. Second year, we got the first round. Last year, we got to the second round. If we get to the championship, that's progression. You cannot. It's just like trying to find a quarterback. It's a dime a dozen for a good coach. Say what you want. Yes, he does make mistakes that pisses me off. But I can't say that anybody else would come to us better. Like, who we going to get? Just like if they say, get rid of Dak. Okay, get rid of Dak. Who are we going to get? Who are we going to get? Are they going to give us Lamar? No. Are they going to give us Purdy? No. Are they going to give us Burrow? No. We're not going to get anybody that's better than Dak.
Yeah.
So why would we get rid of Dak for Washington to take him or somebody else to take him and then go dynamic with him? No, we're not going to do that. It's the same thing with McCarthy. I think that if he gets us to the championship, he automatically deserves his job. I just don't see any team that you go back 3 times in a row, 12-5, and you can get rid of them. And I know it's about the playoffs. I know it's about getting over the hump, but I think it's about progression. We have each year gotten better and better. If we get to at least the championship this year, there's no way. And there's no better opportunity than now. Eagles are struggling.
Yes, they are.
I mean, the team that we were worried about all year long looks exposable. There's no time like the present for us to get to the championship. And if we do that, McCarthy's got another contract coming. Dak's got another contract coming. Everybody's getting paid if we get to the championship. It's not even the Super Bowl. The championship. If we get to the championship, something that we have not done in 30 years, you can count all that. Get rid of McCarthy, put Dan Quinn in there. As long as they can pay Dan Quinn what he would be getting at another team, to be the coach, he's going to stay. He's going to stay. The defense is getting better and better. He's going to stay. I mean, I know it's my team, so you embellish your team, but the pinnacle to work at is the Cowboys. You get the best of the best of the best. Regardless of if people hate us or like us or not, You would rather go to Dallas than to go to Washington. You guys know what your stadium
100%.
the locker room and all that stuff. Think about that. I mean, Sean laughed at me. There was a poll that the players did of facilities that they don't want to go to. Washington is one of those stadiums, those bad stadiums.
It's awful.
Washington pays you millions and millions of dollars to come to Washington. Are you getting the perks that you're getting as being a Dallas Cowboy coach?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
It's just win or lose, you still got the best of the best, period.
That's it. I mean, and honestly, and it was funny, definitely, I mentioned Jimmy Johnson, definitely got to shout him out for finally getting into the Ring of Honor. But it was funny in his when he got the mic, which I was surprised that Jerry let him get the mic.
Yeah.
In Jerry's world.
You saw the kiss?
Right. I saw that. I wouldn't know what he said to him. But look, when he was saying what he said, first, I got to shout out the best fans in the world. Obviously, that's biased. We know they're not the best. But anyways, they're talking about you guys. But then the second thing he said was, now I got to shout out everybody that hates Dallas because you make Dallas what it is.
It makes the team. It makes it what it is. The conversation, whether it's the people that like them or the people that hate them, we're always on conversation. Yeah. I'll take it. I will take it. And I think Dan Quinn will take it. And I'm telling you guys, if Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott get us to the championship, these men are going to get dynamic contracts. The next 5 years is going to be taken for sure.
Yeah. Now, we all know how this story, though, goes today.
Not even the reality. We've been talking about this. Dan's like, he was excited in September. He was excited in October. All of a sudden, November came, and he went, oh, what's happening here? And then now December's about to come, and it's the Dallas fans recognize, like, oh, we peaked too early.
You're right. I mean, I get worried about it. I get worried about the peaking too early. But you got to look at the NFC right now and say, definitively that there's only one team that can beat us. There's only one team that for sure that we will get up in there. There's going to be a possible loss, and that's San Francisco. Mm-hmm. We could beat the Eagles. You can say what you want about the Detroit, call or no call.
Yeah.
We can take it to Detroit. We already beat the Rams. So people are talking about the Rams are getting hot. The same players, Cooper Kupp was in that game. We took them out. Cooper Kupp did not do great. Yes, he was just coming back, but I don't want to hear the excuses. The teams that we're supposed to be afraid of, why? Only San Francisco's a really outlier of, okay, that's the team, the pinnacle. And if all things play out, let's hope that a miracle happens and somebody beats San Francisco before we got to see them. If that works out, then but I think this is the year where we're never going to get as good as it is now. People are hurt.
True.
Teams are exposed. San Francisco's hot. Mm-hmm. Can't be. Oh, okay.
Scott.
Whatever you want to say. Look, looks like Wentz is going to get some starting time this weekend too.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see about the Rams. But you know what? I think that we could take it to any of those teams. The only one that I'm worried about, which naturally you should, San Francisco, because we haven't beat them. But this is the opportunity right here with the team that we have right now, with CeeDee Lamb balling the way he is. The world has been exposed now. CeeDee Lamb is a top receiver. No question about it. So I think this is the only opportunity right now this season where the league is looking funny as hell that we need to capitalize on it. When are we going to talk about the Chiefs, not winning every game and not looking great? When are we going to talk about the fact that Burrow is hurt? He's not going to be in the playoffs. The Bills may not even make it. If they don't win, they're out.
Yep.
Come on. This is going to be the weirdest playoff time that you can have. And with the NFC, those teams are exposable. Those 8-8 teams, come on, man. I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about San Francisco. Naturally should. But everybody else, I feel like we can beat. The opportunity is now for us to do it.
Absolutely.
So tell me what changed this year. I honestly haven't watched a whole lot of Cowboys games. So where you've already said Mike McCarthy's kind of been taking over the offense. So how have you guys?
I think that all of the years previously, we've had to rely on Zeke, right? We know that Zeke has been a pinnacle of our offense for the last 7 years. This year, we're actually seeing, and they tried to contain it the first couple games. Me and Sean talked about it. Dak didn't have to do much because the defense did so much. They scored at least twice a game. Dak didn't have to do much. So they were trying to contain it, give it to Pollard. But as you're noticing, Pollard is not that 25, touch back.
The bruiser,
Okay.
right?
Dak has to be the guy. And he has shown you with his play, even with the Detroit game where they had him in the end zone and they were literally getting ready to tackle him. Tackle him. He spins out, throws a bomb to CeeDee Lamb, and he scores for the touchdown.
Yes.
You can't find, we're talking about game changers, game managers. This is what we're talking about. Dak has now he went from the game manager kind of guy to showing the world that he can be a game changer, and he's very good. Plus, the defense, now they have their struggle games. The games that we have lost, the ones that we've been just taking out, it's been against the run. Our defense does get exposed against the run. But what I do like about our defense is that they are strong man-to-man. They don't care what you're going to run. They're going to do man-to-man. They're going to man up. Gilmore against AJ Brown exposed. We're showing the world that we can do it man-to-man. We can take it to whoever. San Francisco is a maybe, but everybody else, we can take it to them. But I think the difference is that the world is now seeing that Dak can put it on his shoulders and Dak can actually play without a dynamic running game, because we've always had at least a good running game to be able to 50-50 it up. It's not 50-50 anymore. Dak is throwing majority of the time. Pollard is not getting the yards that he did. I mean, he part his injury. He had an injury last year. Does slow you down. But we've been able to make it work with rookie and Dowdle and Pollard, who's been not getting as much and still out there. And then CeeDee Lamb, I'm telling you, CeeDee Lamb has been just a game changer. We needed a game changer. We needed a San Francisco McCaffrey. We got a Dallas CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is just killing it. Yes, here we go. But I think it's truly the offense.
Okay.
And everybody was so worried about how losing our offensive coordinator this year and making McCarthy the guy. As you can see, Kellen Moore, he did good with Herbert, but no wins, no production out of it. Same thing we were struggling with. We got yards, we can get the points, but there was no production. We were not winning games. And some of those games we weren't winning. The plays were horrible. I think McCarthy's good at that, just time management. He's got to still work on the time management. But his play calling has been phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Look, what on this show, we talk about these games and we try to pick out how we think these teams will do. And on our segment, we call Keys to Victory. So, Janae, we go around, we give two keys. We give one around the first loop and then one on the second time. We give a key that we think our team will need to do to get the victory. So we'll start with you. What is your first key to victory for the Cowboys?
All right. The first key for us is that our defense doesn't let Sam Howell do anything. Like, our defense smothers him so much that he's not able to produce just like he did on Thanksgiving. Just crowd him so much that he's not able to produce. If our defense stays on top and make sure that the quarterback stays pressured, nobody can touch us.
Oh, I like that. Will, what you got?
Yeah, so keys to a Cowboys victory is to start Sam Howell. Okay? Because as we keep seeing, by the fourth quarter, he starts to falter and throw a bunch of interceptions, and that's a good thing for Washington fans. Now, I will say this for Sam: what I do want to see him do is feed Terry the ball over and over again, because he needs I don't know the number, but he has a chance. He's under 150 yards to breaking 1,000 for the fourth season in a row, which would break a Washington franchise record. He's already done it. He's the 4 years in a row of 900 yards was a record. So he's gotten that. So he has less than 100. But feed Terry, give him a chance to break 1,000 yards, and then throw 3 picks in the fourth quarter like you always do. Cowboys win.
Wow. You know what? I never thought on a Washington show I would be outnumbered. Okay. A Cowboys fan and a Washington fan. You know what I say to win the game? You start Sam Howell. Because if we remember correctly, Dallas was in this very same situation a year ago, heading to the playoffs, and they said, oh, we don't have any tape. And Sam whooped them. And you know what? Sam's not playing in Dallas this week, Janae. You ain't got Jerry's world to control the clocks and to control the refs. Sam is playing in Washington. We know where all the little divots in the grass are. We know where all the little leaky drains are. So we're gonna set you guys up. Sam is gonna start. Sam is gonna dominate, but Sam needs to be efficient. No interceptions. He even gets one, we're losing. No interceptions for Sam. I know it's going to be hard, but that is a key to victory. I know. Janae, what is your second key to victory?
I think our second key to victory is letting CeeDee Lamb ball out.
Yeah.
Just let. I mean, we are now 8 weeks in a row where he's always open. I don't know. He's just fast. He's a great route runner. He can get open. Feed CeeDee Lamb, we win the game. Period.
I love that. Oh yeah. Will, what you got?
Yeah. Feed CeeDee Lamb because I can't tell you who's going to be at cornerback. So Dallas just needs to throw it. Throw it on first down, throw it on second down, throw it on third down, throw it on fourth down. Don't worry about punting. Don't bring your punter. Let him stay in Dallas. Keep that hamstring, that leg nice and warm. Just throw it on fourth down because you've got Emmanuel Forbes starting. And then I don't know who else is going to be playing because the guys who started last week, Tariq Castro-Fields, got hurt. Christian Holmes, concussion, got hurt. So I literally don't know who is still on our roster to play the other side of corner because Kendall Fuller's on injured reserve. Benjamin St. Juice is on injured reserve. They all got hurt here at the end of the season. So just throw the ball. Just keep throwing the ball and test their secondary. In fact, I would love to see you guys give Forbes a chance to learn this is what it's like to be a corner. Show us if you can play or not. Target him. Go after him.
Let's go.
And see,
I think Will's on my side this week.
See, it's okay, though. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. See, sometimes in life, okay? See, sometimes you cannot rely on your own understanding. You need some serious extra help. So you need to look on the mountaintop, and you also need to look at the weather report. You won't be in Jerry's world this week. You're going to be in D.C. And what's coming to D.C.? An Arctic front. A snowstorm potentially could be there. At the very least, it'll be cold and wet and dreary. And crazy things happen in January of 2024 when it's snowing and raining in D.C. Washington will win because of the bad conditions out there. That is my last key to victory. Let's go.
You know why Sean
wants here, right? You live here, right, Sean? You realize the weather's been nice and cozy for everybody. This is the first weekend of cold.
I called it a favor. All right.
But you also got to know Sean's picking Washington to win because he wants a less of a chance to get Caleb Williams, Drake May, so that his guy Sam can be the starter next year. So there's a reason why he wants him to win. Every other rational fan is like, lose the game.
Let's go, Sam. I'm still rooting for you.
Yeah, he is. Yes, he is. He's loyal to forever.
Yo, wait, but before we get out of here, I know we all got to go. And I'll be realistic here, and I'm going to show you how realistic I am right now. In reality, Dallas is going to whoop us. It's going to be like 41-17. I do think Sam is going to show up early, but it's not going to last. I'm going to be very honest with you. We will be getting that second pick, and most likely we'll be moving on from Sam. Janae, what is your score prediction for this game?
13-45.
Oof.
13-45. And I think you guys won't even get the last field goal until the fourth quarter. But yeah, I think we're gonna put our foot on your head from the first quarter on, and you won't be able to catch up. And I think by the fourth quarter, none of our starters will play. So it's gonna be one of those.
I can see that. Yeah, Will, what you think, man?
You got to post Nathan's score. Ooh, he's got a lot of faith.
Ooh.
I'm saying 27-13 Dallas. It may be similar to San Francisco, where in the first quarter, second quarter, Sam's kind of keeping them in the game, and then the second half kickoff's going to happen, and it's all over.
Wow. There it is. There it is.
There it is. There it is.
Janae Strother.
You haven't
my
given
sister.
yours. Yeah.
I did have 41-17.
Oh, you did? 41-17.
Oh, yeah, they're going to blow us out.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, we're not going to win that. They're going to blow us out. It's going to be 17. It's going to be like 17-13 early, and then they're just going to blow us out. It's just going to happen. I'm realistic in some ways. I mean, yeah. I'm in the church, so I've been praying here for a while. I
might stay here tonight. I have evidence, guys. No. If you guys ever need me to post the evidence, he actually posted it while me and Delilah were chatting, and I snapped it that he said the Cowboys are the best. We're gonna win it all.
Listen,
he said it.
I was not feeling myself. Y'all had just put up 45 on me, and I was stressed.
It's not even going to matter because I think Philly is going to lose too. I think the Giants are going to beat Philly too.
After what the Giants did against the Cardinals.
And look, Tyrod almost beat him the last game.
Philly did against the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think the Giants are going to win that game too. So it won't even matter. But yeah, we're gonna demolish you guys. Wow. I'll be there. I'll be there in the cold.
That's right.
Enjoy it.
It out. I'll be there.
Yeah, so I never answered you if I was going to go. The answer is no. I'm not.
Not a chance. Not
going to see this thing live. No, not going to happen. Not going.
You sure?
Not going to happen.
Okay.
Not going to happen. No, but listen, if it's close late in the game, I will drive up to FedEx, and if we get that W, I will meet you at your car. Let's go.
You'll be so hyped for nothing. For absolutely nothing.
For bad reasons.
Yeah. Yo, we have got to shout out our homegirl, Janae Strother. We appreciate you coming on here. I think this is the first time we've ever done.
Yeah, I don't think I've been on Washington Weekly. I'm hyped.
Yeah.
I get to be on your chats. I get to be on your chats on the side, so it makes it feel good that I can chime in and bash you guys sometimes. So I appreciate that. I'm glad you actually brought me to the forefront so people can see my face. And stop hating everybody. I know y'all want to say, Detroit would have won the game. I got a kicker that can kick from 70 yards, man. I still think we would have won that game. Anyways, it's been a beautiful time. I love you guys, man. Best show ever, man. I freaking love the Washington Weekly, even though I hate Washington, but the best host ever. You guys keep it real. That's the best part about you guys. You guys always keep it real. Always.
Yeah.
Love you. You already know.
Appreciate it.
You already know.
All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next time, man.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Have fun with that victory on Sunday.
Yeah. I will.
Yeah. Hey, tell Quinn to wear that Washington outfit I gave her.
No.
Come on now. No. It's a new year.
Over and out. Bye, y'all.
Right.
So yeah.
All right. Yes, that was Janae Strother. She was on here. Hey, Dallas, Washington, the very last game of the season will be this week, and then. Even though we've been talking about it the last couple of weeks, the off season will officially start, and then all of this speculation will turn into actual substance. Things will actually be happening. So, Will, there we are, man. Can you
believe we're here at week 18?
I know.
I mean, just think about it. It was Labor Day weekend. You were down here in South Carolina, and college football was just starting off, and here we are. We're at the end of it. I'm a pour a drink.
Yeah,
on Sunday. I'm gonna pour a drink on Sunday with the ending of NFL.
Hey, send me a picture because I'll definitely pour one with you, man. Because it's gonna be interesting. And you know what? I gotta shout us out real quick, man. Because the last couple of years, obviously, we've always said we wanted December to remember. And a couple of years ago, we were kind of in there. Last year, we thought we were gonna get in there around Thanksgiving, and then we had that drop, and everything kind of went. Last couple of years, as a matter of fact. The fact that we're still kind of going now and continually doing this and talking about this, even though it's been over for some time now, I'm impressed. I want to say thank you to you, man. It's been difficult.
Man, it hasn't been easy. It's 2013, 2019, and then 2023 are years I wanted to end, in by Thanksgiving, and it sucks. Those are terrible feelings.
Yeah. All right. Well, he said, "Where did the time go?" Yeah.
Yeah.
It blinked and it's over, man.
It went fast.
Absolutely, man. So, hey, we're getting into that conference college basketball games. North Carolina just beat Pitt last night. Let's go. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. I think I'm waiting on next football season because the Nats are going to suck. Maryland's terrible. So, sports are not good for me right now. It happens.
Let's move into the next Washington season. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. For my guy, Will Kramer, it is your boy, Sean Spencer. We are Washington Football Weekly. Appreciate you being here. There's only one way we know how to go out. Left hand up, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.
Gibbs, you got a good chance. Let me tell you something about some good fans. Back in the day, RFK was our palace. If you don't know, you need to ask about us. Think we're gonna lose? Well, I can't believe you doubters had to hold